And go.
Hello.
And welcome
to the Ripple Podcast.
The podcast where we tell you straight.
Just go. Just keep going. We're not going to stop again.
The podcast where we tell you strange and unusual stories.
And the ripples they create. And go.
AKA
the story after the story.
Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor, Ripple.
Oh, Angela is super irritated right now. Super.
It shouldn't be this complicated. What? Are we still recording?
It's okay. It's going. Okay.
Oh, man. So hopefully we don't sound like we're talking in buckets in a well 10 million miles away from you tonight.
I've heard tin can. I've heard
bucket on your head is what you sound like.
I've heard like you guys are in different rooms.
Nope.
But now I feel like I can hear my every breath.
We'll see.
Okay, so listener, if you know anything about setting up microphones for podcast recording, we will totally hook you up with a free drink.
It shouldn't be this complicated.
But it really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready for a drink.
Well, we have like...
You're already drinking. When did that happen?
Just a while ago. I couldn't handle it anymore. I cracked open this hard seltzer just to kind of quench my thirst. It has nothing to do with my story.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Well, that's fine. I'm here for it.
So I got you...
It's spiked seltzer. Clementine hibiscus is the one I have.
Okay, I have pear elderflower.
Yum.
It's yummy.
Okay. What are we talking about this week?
Okay, so this week we are doing technology.
Life-saving technologies. Medical technologies.
Right.
I don't remember why, but that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, that was a strange one we pulled.
Hey, we are the Strange and Unusual Podcast.
We are.
Strange and unusual ourselves.
That is a fact. So we have strange and unusual stories and strange and unusual medical technologies.
Yeah.
Life-saving. Am I first? Are you first? Do we need to talk first?
I think we do.
Okay.
Tell me about your weekend.
I was going to say, I kind of have some info to share. So I participated in and completed the LA Marathon.
Woohoo!
And I am going to be 2, if not 3 toenails shorter in a week or so. Mm-hmm.
Do you need bigger shoes?
No.
It's just part of the fun.
It's
is losing some toenails along the way.
It's one of the badges you earn. Yeah, I think just from running downhill, and they say your toenails slam against your feet. I don't know.
Was it downhill?
Parts of it. That's the part where I ran. I use that.
You just let yourself go.
Yeah.
Start rolling down the hill.
I use that gravity to my benefit.
Well, that's really exciting. I'm proud of you. And you took off, 40 minutes almost?
44 minutes.
That's a lot.
From last year's time.
That's huge.
Still not nearly as fast as the majority of the runners, but I'll take it. And that just means I'll go a little bit faster next year.
There you go. You against yourself.
Exactly. That's why I like running. Well, I don't like it, but yeah, I do it.
Yeah.
And then we are in huge coronavirus lockdown mode.
Lockdown? Oh, because of the schools are all closed?
All the schools are closed. All sports activities are closed. I heard all my meetings have been canceled.
That's not such a bad thing.
You know, I hear the fair may even be canceled.
Oh, no, that's too far away.
That's what I thought, too.
Well, I just came back from going through LAX twice and then into Dallas Airport and then into the AT&T Stadium full of however many thousand people. So if anybody's going to get corona,
it's going to be you or me.
So I'll just give it to you.
I was in the LA Coliseum or LA place where they meet. What's that place called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
They had the Health Expo.
LA Convention Center?
That's the word. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I was there, and then the whole race, out, around people sweating and breathing hard and coughing and throwing up and peeing alongside the road and all that stuff.
Well, I'm sure we'll be fine. We'll just drink enough whiskey and seltzer.
That's what my dad says. Yep.
Okay.
So, stories? Are you ready for a story?
I'm ready
I feel
for
like
a
I'm
story.
rushing you right now, but since we've been here for literally
2 hours.
2+ hours,
Yeah.
I'm like, let's do this.
Well, you did the LA Marathon. I went to the rodeo in Texas. It was lots of fun. We basically just ate a ton of brisket and watched people get thrown off horses.
Was
and
it good?
bulls.
Was it yummy food?
Oh my God, yeah. It was the best food. It was so good. They don't have any kind of brisket around here that I know of that tastes anything like Texas brisket.
I don't even know what brisket is.
You wouldn't even eat brisket.
I wouldn't.
It was delicious.
Yeah?
You should try it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Give me my vegan burgers.
You're not even vegan, though.
That's what I had for dinner last night. Vegan burgers.
What kind?
Trader Joe's.
Oh, I haven't tried those yet. I know they're like $3 a patty, though, so I passed on
Yeah,
that.
you have to cook them. Like, they're not like just warm up.
I know,
Yeah.
but they're expensive.
I don't remember.
I've had the Beyond. Nobody cares about this. Nobody cares. Beyond Burgers are pretty good. That's fine. There's that other one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's also pretty good. It's like just as popular as the Beyond Burger. But yeah, okay.
All right, and enough with food talk. So, are you going? You always remember. Are you first or am I first?
You're first.
Okay. So, grab a couple shot glasses up there.
Oh, okay. Wait, I thought.
No, that's just my my
How many
I brought
drinks are
a
we
couple
having
drinks,
tonight?
a few. So, in this bottle here is Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, and I'm going to pour you a shot of the Tennessee Honey. So Eric, this is another thing that Eric says is super annoying when we do this. He's like, no one can see what you're drinking. Just either don't talk about it or explain it well. So Eric, this is for you. I'm filling
When
these
have
up.
we ever not explained it?
Who knows?
Whatever,
Do you
Eric.
smell the honey?
No, I don't. Let me get a little closer. Okay, why are we drinking Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey?
It has to be the
in a
honey.
shot glass.
And it has to be the honey.
Yum.
I haven't had that for a while. Okay, you're going to find out why really soon.
Okay.
So I'm going to do my sources first. Psychology Today.
I love that site.
Do you really?
I've used that on almost every story. I always
You're being a smart
No,
ass.
I'm serious. I really do love that website.
Theconversation.com. Good old Wikipedia. HelloClue.com. And EvesGarden.com. So almost 2 centuries ago, doctors invented a device to help assist their treatment of their patients while also making their job easier and less labor intensive.
Okay.
So these doctors were treating their patients that had multiple symptoms such as anxiety, nervousness, irritability, sleeplessness, having the tendency to want to cause trouble, and having the feeling of heaviness in their lower abdomen.
Straitjacket.
Nope. Women during this time were commonly suffering from hysteria.
Vibrators.
Yay! Is it really? It is.
I was just kidding.
Totally is.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So the word hysteria actually comes from the Greek word for uterus. Did you know that?
Yeah, like a hysterectomy. I just put that together right now.
I didn't even put that together until you said that. So what doctors then referred to as hysteria, we now call sexually frustrated. So hysteria was categorized as a disease, and in some extreme cases, women were actually admitted into insane asylums or forced to have hysterectomies to get cured. And the American Psychiatric Association, they didn't actually stop using the word hysteria until 1952.
Oh, I didn't realize they don't use it anymore.
Yeah, it's like
Not PC?
exactly. Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Well, because so a lot of this information, depending on what source you look and refer to, they'll say that none of this is true, or it's all true. The use of vibrators in treating hysteria.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
but
depending on your source.
what are are you going to tell me the symptoms of hysteria? Because, like, how do they decide that you need your uterus? What are you doing?
It's it's everything. It was like a total catch-all phrase, a total catch-all term.
So for anxiety, like all those things you listed, anxiety, depression.
Irritability, sleeplessness.
Oh, weird. Okay.
It was kind of like ADD back in like the 80s. like or 90s, like all the kids had ADD.
Oh.
Or yeah, it was just like a catch-all, like, oh, that woman right there, she's hysteria. She's got hysteria. So yeah, it'll go into it a little bit more. So this is where the honey comes in, the Jack Daniel's honey. So the history of hysteria can be traced all the way back to ancient times. The first recorded descriptions of hysteria were found in ancient Egypt in 1900 BC. So Cleopatra, from 69 to 30 BC, she used a gourd filled with bees to stimulate her genitals. Some sources say, and then others say that's complete bullshit. So who knows? I liked it. I put it in.
So
I thought it was interesting.
Buzzing?
Right.
Wow, that is creative.
Oh, well, yeah, and scary. What if one of those suckers got out?
Maybe that's part of the excitement.
Ouch. So there's this guy named Gallon. He is a physician.
His name is Gallon?
His last name is Gallon. They call him Gallon. I'm going to call him Gallon.
Okay.
He was a physician, a surgeon, and a philosopher. And he wrote in the Hippocratic text, like, you know, the doctors take a Hippocratic oath.
Yeah.
So this is like the book about it, I guess. Hippocratic.
Okay.
Hippocratic.
No. It's been a long night already.
There's a few words in here that I'm totally going to slaughter, and that could be one of them.
I'm going to try to speak French to you later.
So he wrote that many women were capable of suffering from hysteria, especially, and this is a quote, widows, and particularly those who previously menstruated regularly, had been pregnant, and were also eager to have intercourse, but were now deprived of all of this. He believed... Go ahead.
I have two things.
Uh-huh.
One, it's only women who get hysterical?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never seen a man get hangry or anything.
No. Mm-mm.
And two, this is probably something we should have talked about at the top of the episode, because you just reminded me of getting laid.
Like, what?
Laid, not lied.
Oh, yeah. Like a few things, like corrections that we needed to make. There was a few.
There was a few drinks involved, and
my grammar skills.
It went away.
Yeah.
It's laid, not lied. Okay,
Episode 9. Refer back to that.
I don't. By the way, all
Or
the
10.
numbers of the episodes got screwed up, and I don't know how that happened.
I fixed it.
Oh, okay.
That part I did do.
All right.
Okay,
sorry.
so
Go ahead.
This Gallon guy, he believed that the retention of what he called like the female seed could only be released through regular climax or intercourse.
No, that's called menstruation.
If this, quote, female seed stayed in the body, it would become venomous and cause the hysteria. So this was his thought. So one treatment that he recommended for hysteria was, this one makes me laugh, was scent therapy. And what you would do
Wait, scent?
Like you smell.
You're smelling a thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You apply a foul smell near a woman's nose. And because he thought like the uterus moved around the body. And if you put like something really stinky by your nose, it would like make the uterus want to go down, because at the same time you're also applying like a pleasant scent at the vulva to attract the uterus.
For your vagina nose.
Right, because the uterus has a strong sense of smell. So the goal here was to get the uterus to go back to its natural spot. He also recommended sexual intercourse and the rubbing of ointments to the external genitalia. So
I love that it's a man trying to figure all of this.
This is just the beginning.
This is fantastic.
So during the 13th century, doctors recommended the use of dildos to assist with
Is that the technical term?
That's the word I used. Yeah.
I remember when you used to sell dildos.
Oh, yeah. And I taught at a private Christian school. Uh-huh.
Wait, you did those at the same time?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So the recommended use of dildos to assist with hysteric outbreaks. Married women were also told to encourage their husband's sexual desires. But that probably didn't work too well, since only about 25% of women are able to actually have an orgasm with just intercourse. That's a little fact I learned when I was selling sex toys.
When you were selling vibrators and all of those things.
Yep. So if a woman wasn't married, doctors recommended horseback riding.
I can tell you right now, I go horseback riding about 3-4 times a week, and my hysteria has not gone away.
By the 16th and 17th centuries, hysteria was still believed to be caused due to retention of fluids in the uterus, sexual deprivation, or by the uterus wandering around the body. It just grew legs and started just cruising around.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm being such a bitch. My uterus is in my elbow right now.
Right. Marriage and then regular sex with a husband was still considered the best treatment because semen was thought to have healing properties.
Oh, of course it does.
Yeah, I'm sure a man said that as well. So, I think this is the part.
Husband. Not necessarily your husband.
With a husband. I think this is the part I'm really going to slaughter, I think. So physician Abraham Zacuto writes in his Praxis Medica Ad Miranda this is just the beginning, just to warn you, from 1637, he wrote, quote, "Because of retention of the sexual fluid, the heart and surrounding areas are enveloped in a morbid and moist excretion."
Wait, what?
Just keep going. This is especially true of the more I can't say this word, lascivious.
I can't picture it right now.
Like slutty females.
Oh, sure.
Inclined to stray, if you will. Passionate women who are most eager to experience physical pleasure. If she is of this type, she cannot ever be relieved by any aid except that of her parents, who are advised to find her a husband. Having done so, the man's strong and vigorous intercourse will alleviate the frenzy.
It has to be strong and vigorous.
Apparently. And your parents
are picking out the strong and vigorous. Wow, that's not creepy at all.
No. So that was a quote from him. But by the 17th century, dildos actually became less of an option for women because the people that, make all the decisions in the world decided that it was wrong for women to masturbate.
So what you're saying is now that men decided that women are crazy because they need more sex, are now deciding that these women like the dildos better than the guys, and they better take those away.
Well, yeah, it's not for pleasure or even to get rid of the hysteria. No, it's self-abuse at this point.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It's because, if you are self-pleasuring yourself, you are a demon. And
so this is where all the religion
comes in. You're a sinner if you are using a dildo. Mm-hmm. So if you're not married and you're not having sex and you're not masturbating, what are you going to do to stop this hysterics? Because, the only thing that can cure it is, an orgasm.
Drink?
You would think, but no. You go to your doctor and have them do it for you.
Oh.
So the doctor...
So the man can apply the vibrator.
Or the midwife. There could be a midwife.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. The doctor will apply like a vegetable oil to your genitals.
I really hope no one walks in on this
this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing we should clarify. Like, I had a couple people say, like, "Oh my gosh, what happened? There was like 5 seconds of complete silence in your last episode." My boss walked in, so that's another correction from the last episode. Mm-hmm. Now back to Dr. Masturbation. The doctor will apply vegetable oil to your genitals and then begin massaging the area while 1 or 2 fingers are placed gently inside and the heel of the doctor's hand presses against the clitoris.
Okay, do we really need to get this detailed?
If done correctly, the woman would reach climax as well as relief from hysteria. This is all very scientific, clinical
This is making me
information.
very uncomfortable.
Eric said he was not going to listen to this episode.
Good. Don't.
Now, a woman wouldn't actually have an orgasm during this treatment. They had what they called paroxysms.
What the hell is that?
Paroxysms, because women were not capable of having sexual feelings. That was just something that men did. The only reason women had sex was to have children and to please their husband. So this,
Wait, what year are we now?
we are in the 17th century.
Okay.
The physician-assisted paroxysm was huge during the 19th century in Europe and the U.S. Doctors were making a ton of money performing this act on hysterical women.
I bet.
However, their hands were becoming achy and tired from treating women all day.
So sad.
So physicians began to develop a mechanical substitute to give their hands a break. It started out with kind of like water-driven massagers.
Shower heads.
Exactly. Seriously, exactly. Or did you ever watch The Shape of Water? That like
No, but I heard enough about it.
The opening scene is her like opening spread eagle in her bathtub like faucet.
That's the movie where she fell in love with the sea creature.
That's that one. Mhm.
Oh man, I gotta watch that. I've got to put that on my list.
Try going to the movie theater with your mom and watching that scene.
You went with her?
Talk about uncomfortable.
I thought she went with Candy.
No, me. I went with her. Yeah, that was great.
Oh,
And then there was steam-driven massagers or, quote, manipulators.
Hey, that's what Gwyneth Paltrow's selling now.
Steam-driven massagers?
The steam your vagina treatment.
What?
You don't know about this?
No.
Yeah. Oh, so she has this whole thing. I actually haven't looked at her website in quite a while, but it's on her Goop thing where you squat below a steamer and it steams your vagina. I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Is it supposed to be pleasurable or like
I think it's supposed to like
clean yourself?
Rebalance you. No, I don't think it's for cleansing. I think it's for like spiritual
awakenings?
I don't know. And then you shove a jade egg up in it and it's Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I'm totally going to look this up. Okay. So yeah, well, apparently way before Gwyneth, there were steam-driven massagers. And these, like the steam-driven ones, and you know, there's some other like a crank, like a hand crank one, like an egg beater is how I picture it, you know?
Oh,
like,
that sounds painful.
you know, those egg beater type things?
No.
And then there's also another one called the jolting chair.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that's like one that was thought to be a French invention. And it kind of looks like a rocking chair with like handles. And you pull back on the handles to like administer this like pounding like jolt.
What's that store in the mall that had all of the like weird technology? Oh, shoot. Brooks.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like they had the robot vacuums before the robot vacuums were a thing.
Okay.
They had this chair that was supposed to help you, I guess, build your core muscles and help you with like, they called it like the, virtual horse or something.
No.
Do you remember this?
Yes. It was like a mechanical bull.
Yes,
I
your
totally know
own
what you're talking about.
personal one. And everybody knew what people were using that for.
Well, and then you could try it out in the
become
store.
an equestrian.
Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
Yes, that's totally what that reminds me of.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
What was that place called? Brooks something?
Well, there was Brooks, but there was also another one that has, it's like 2 words.
And they had like drones and RC
like
cars,
like
all kinds of strange
like stuff you could buy for your dad because you don't know what else to buy your dad.
So you get him a vibrating chair.
Well, he cannot have the jolting chair. No, definitely not.
Wait. Can I tell you a story about our grandma?
And the vibrator, yes. Go ahead and tell the vibrating grandma story. I know where you're going with this. Did you try grandma's vibrator? Let me ask you that question. So, Our grandma. I got you.
Okay, you can tell the story.
Our grandma,
I can't stop laughing.
like she had a really sore back, and so
She
when
has arthritis. She's a
scoliosis,
farmer.
yeah.
She's
also 95.
right, and she's worked hard her entire life. So
Yes.
she's got a sore back.
Sure. So someone for birthday or Christmas or whatever bought her one of those back massagers that you put on a chair and you like lean up against. So there's like all these little ball-y massaging things that you can turn on. Well, grandma like laid it flat on a couch and then would lay on it.
She would lay down
She
on
would
it. It's a
lie down on it, and
Sure.
on her for her back. This is for her back, and just get a back massage.
yeah.
And she loved this thing. She thought it was like super cool. So anytime anyone came over, she would go, "Hey, Angela, you want to use my vibrator?
You've got to try my vibrator.
Hey, Eric, do you want to try my vibrator? You'll love it. It feels so good."
You've got to try the vibrator.
And we'd always have to go, "No, Grandma, I'm good. Like, I don't need to use your vibrator," and try to do it with a straight face because she did not understand what she was saying that was like super funny and inappropriate.
And she would go use her vibrator before she went to bed.
Oh, yeah, I just used my vibrator before I came to church. So, yeah, so good.
Oh, my God, it's fantastic.
Let me tell you a little bit about the jolting chair.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a rocking chair, and it had handles, and then you pull back on the handles and it like pounds your vag area. And it was actually based upon like people traveling by train on like poorly maintained tracks.
Oh, yeah.
So like the track is like brrrr, and like apparently that's what they...
Just like when you drive down a bumpy road.
Well, so there's this road. I don't know if it's super bumpy anymore. But on the 101...
Oh, God. I don't want to hear this.
No. Well, Dad. No, this is a dad story. And he
This
said...
is so awkward.
They
What?
used to call that road Jack Off Road.
What the hell?
I
He
know.
told you that?
He thought it was funny. I thought it was kind of funny, too.
My dad
My dad.
told you that.
Uh-huh. Okay, enter electricity. So it's now the late 19th century, and
Okay.
American homes are full of items like toasters and electric fans. And this is also around the time that Dr. Joseph Mortimer Granville patented the electromechanical vibrator. However, his invention was not originally designed to help women reach orgasm.
Just to massage your sore neck, right?
Well, it was actually used to treat pain, headaches, irritability, indigestion, and constipation in men. He didn't really want it used on women. Mhm.
How progressive of him, actually.
So these vibrators, they could produce that paroxysm, which is, remember, like women still don't have orgasms at this time because they don't get like sexually turned on. But these could cause that much quicker and much more consistently than the manual treatment from the doctors. And then like magazines advertisements started coming out and talking about these, quote, personal massagers. And they were advertised to both men and women as household appliances. So in 1956, like the department store Sears produced their own vibrator, which was advertised as giving you that, quote, great to be alive feeling.
Something to put on your wedding registry.
Yeah, definitely register for that. So they started being purchased by women, and by the early 20th century, doctors were not needed as much to treat this hysteria, especially in the large quantities that they had been serving. But in the 1920s, however, like this is kind of the time when movies are being made, and then of course as soon as movies are being made, pornos are being made.
Of course.
And women and men, for that matter, are using vibrators in the pornography. And since pornography is so dirty and wrong, the vibrators were looked at as being, again, dirty.
Damn it, Rosa.
Dirty and wrong. And these common advertisements were no longer being seen in magazines, and they were actually becoming an item that was hard to find. So in 1952, the diagnosis of hysteria, I said this at the beginning, but was finally dropped from the American Psychiatric Association. And then the negative opinion of vibrators, however, continued until the mid-1970s. So Texas, Georgia, Alabama, and Kansas, they all passed an anti-obscenity law that prohibited the sale of devices for the massage of the human genitalia.
No way.
And the ownership, you couldn't own more than 5 of them. And the penalty, well, yeah.
Do you really need that many?
The penalty was a $10,000 fine and a year in jail. And
what?
Alabama passed this in 1998.
No way.
1998, yeah. So all of these laws, so the Texas, Georgia, and Kansas.
Black market vibrator.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But they've all been successfully challenged except for Alabama's. And just a little statistic here. A 1974 study of U.S. women found that 61% of those women admitted to masturbating, but 25% of those women felt guilty about it. And they felt like perverted or even feared like going insane from doing it because of the guilt. So right alongside the growth of feminism in the 1970s, there was like the birth control pill, the more acceptance of premarital sex, and then the more acceptance of masturbation. More acceptance of vibrators also followed. And then there was this company called Hitachi, and they introduced the magic wand around this time. And it is even today the world's most popular vibrator.
Even more than the rabbit?
I'm going to get to the rabbit.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
good job. In 1983, the sex toy company Vibratex became the first to bring vibrators to the U.S. These bright colored toys with shapes and faces of animals, just like the rabbit, were produced.
Oh, and the dolphin.
And do you know the reason why they're like super colored or like have animal faces or whatever on them?
No.
It's because they're mainly produced in Japan, and it's illegal in Japan for like masturbation with sex toys. So they have to almost make them and sell them as just toys.
Oh, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? I think it was when the new episode 1 or whatever of Star Wars came out, and some company made these lightsabers.
You're asking me about Star Wars? I don't know anything about Star Wars. I don't know any,
but I remember this part.
Okay.
Because they had like, no. It was Star Wars and it was Harry Potter, both. Okay, so they had a lightsaber for Star Wars, and then they had a magic wand for Harry Potter that were marketed towards children, and they both vibrated.
Were totally sex toys.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I believe it. So here's my ripple.
Okay.
So today, vibrators are easier to buy and more popular than ever, but they're still pretty taboo depending on the group of people that you're talking to. And then the double standards for women are still really strong. So vibrators are being sold as like massagers, like a personal massager, or just like a novelty. And female masturbation is still often looked at as shameful, gross, or inferior to sex with a man. And then like birth control and sex toys for women are still super heavily regulated by the government. But like a men's sex aid, like Viagra, it's, on every commercial, and it's super like accessible for any man that wants to get it. And then there was another example that I read. It was like in 2010, MTV refused to air a commercial for Trojan's vibrating Triforia, which obviously is like a condom, but I think it had like a cock ring vibrator on it. I'm getting into my like sex toy spiel here, but they wouldn't air that commercial unless they took out the word vibrator.
Wait, what year was that?
2010.
No, okay.
And it was MTV.
MTV had already had 16 and pregnant by then, okay?
But there's also like ads for like why can't I'm saying electric, erectile.
Okay.
Erectile dysfunction, like, or, you know, Viagra pills, you know, all over. So it's kind of a double standard.
MTV needs more condom commercials.
Well, absolutely, especially in between episodes of 16 and Pregnant.
Yep.
So in 1974, women's rights activist Dell Williams founded Eve's Garden. It's located in New York, and it's the world's first mail order catalog and sexuality boutique designed for the unique needs of a woman by a woman. So when Dell Williams was buying her first vibrator in a department store, she like totally can remember feeling embarrassed and totally humiliated. And she made the vow that no woman should ever feel that way again about her own sexuality. So she created Eve's Garden. And she wanted it to be a place for women to purchase sexual aid toys or educational materials without shame or embarrassment. Her goal was to help women overcome the guilt and shame women sometimes feel about sex. She's actually listed in the who's who of sexual academics and leaders, and many of like her business papers and business documents were recently donated to Cornell University's Department for Feminist, Gender, and Sexuality Studies. And then this is a quote from their website. It says, Eve's Garden was created to empower women to celebrate their sexuality as a positive, nourishing, and creative force in their lives. Our version of, quote, Eve is a transformation from a fallen, shamed woman to a strong, powerful woman, proud of her strength, sensitivity, and sexuality. The end.
Wow.
So how uncomfortable did that story make you feel?
Pretty uncomfortable. It was a little awkward. But, you know, that's fantastic.
I thought it was super interesting, and I mean, I don't know. Hearing the part about like the men and the women comparison, even in, you know, 2020, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's the most I don't know, surprising part about it is that a lot of the things that you referenced are not that long ago. The 90s, where Alabama decided to outlaw. What the hell,
Yeah.
Alabama?
Wow.
That is bizarre. I had no idea. And then like a lot of these things happening in the 80s.
Right.
Which
it's not that long ago.
Oh, that's creepy.
That was in stereo for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my, I mean, I wanted to kind of do a medical technology that was a little off and kind of fun. And
unusual.
That's for sure. Yeah. But I've spent a long time researching and learning. But I also took my knowledge of selling sexual devices.
It was passion parties,
Passion
right?
parties, yeah, which I don't know if they still exist anymore.
I think they do.
They were a home party.
I got invited to something like that not too long ago. I think it was passion parties. It could have been something else, but I mean, I know there's
same
a few.
idea.
Yeah.
Well, they're popular for bachelorette parties or girls' nights.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, good times.
Yep. I think we should take just a tiny little break.
Okay.
For a second.
You have to go potty?
Yeah.
All right.
And we're back.
Okay, it's your turn to tell me a story. But first, I need a refill on my drink.
Well, yeah, I'm going to give you a different drink.
Okay.
So we're going to start out with another shot of whiskey, which has not gone well in the past. But, you know, we'll roll with it. So this is Rogue Spirits Dead Guy Whiskey. And, so.
Did that, what's this called?
The bottle cap cork type thing.
The lid. Did that come with it?
Yes.
That's cool.
It's super cool. Adam got it for his birthday, and I just snagged it from him right now.
Let's take a picture of it, and we'll put it on our Instagram.
And I don't know if it's the same Rogue that makes the fitness equipment, but the logo looks the same. But yeah. So this is Dead Guy keyword whiskey.
Okay, so you'll explain this to me.
Yep. And I have a chaser to go along with it. What?
Pickle juice?
No.
Oh.
Oh, that would be a good one, though. I love picklebacks. So this is your chaser. Life Aid.
Oh, fancy.
Life Aid. Have you had Life Aid before?
I have.
So for those of you who haven't had it, Life Aid is like kind of like a vitamin type drink.
Like got turmeric in it.
Yeah. Turmeric and all kinds of vitamins. But
it's a healthy...
It's a good alternative to soda, I guess. But it
it's
tastes
not
delicious.
It's not like Red Bull. It's not like super caffeine.
It's not an energy drink. It's just like a vitamin drink, and it's delicious. So
I can smell the vitamins.
You have the dead guy followed by the Life Aid.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
Cheers. Oh, wow. That actually didn't... That was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I could drink that.
Life Aid should be cold, but whatever.
That's all right.
All right. So now that I just did a shot, let me try to speak French to you.
Can't wait.
This is the story of La Canoe de la Sienne.
Yeah, that sounded really good.
Let me play. I pulled up the French version. Here, let me see if the microphone will pick it up.
It should.
Wait for it.
Again.
That sounded totally different.
La Canoe de la Seine.
La Canoe de Seine.
Sure, uh-huh.
All right. Which translates into the woman of the Seine. And real quick, actually, let me do my sources before I forget. So my sources are Wellcome Collection, which is a museum in the UK. The Woman Behind the Mask. Ask a Mortician on YouTube, and it was the episode Death Mask. Have you ever watched her?
No, I've never even heard of that
You've
before.
got to subscribe. Wow, I'm
Tell me it
already
again.
slurring. Ask a Mortician.
Okay, on YouTube.
Yes. And this was the episode Death Mask. And then also the Science Alert website. All right. This story takes place back in Paris. In 1880, when a boat of fishermen spotted something floating in the river. And when they pulled this object aboard, they discovered that it was the body of a deceased young woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, that's sad.
I know. They took her body to the Paris morgue, where the pathologist determined that the cause of death was drowning, even though her body didn't display like the bloated, discolored appearance that you would typically expect from a drowning victim. That just, I guess she had water in her lungs, and they just knew that that's how she died. But instead, this woman, she looked like she was just sleeping or dreaming, and she had this peaceful look on her face, and they described it kind of like a Mona Lisa smile.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she just looked like she was dreaming.
Oh.
And by the way, I should note now, they refer to her as a woman throughout this, but she was 16, so just to keep that in mind.
Okay.
They estimated she was probably around 16.
Okay.
All right, judging by the lack of bruises and defense injuries or any signs of violence on her body, the pathologist believed that she jumped off a bridge and committed suicide.
Oh my gosh. This is a really sad story.
No, it gets dark. It really does. And I mean, she could have fallen or she could have been pushed, but they don't really talk about that.
I'm sorry. Tell me the year again.
1880.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe that was a thing. Like they knew that people jumped off that bridge.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. So in the 1880s, the people of Paris had this kind of bit of morbid obsession with dead bodies. So when the woman of the Seine, I already forgot her name. Oh, not her name, but the term that they used to call her. So I'm just going to call her River Girl. The French version is what I meant. She was taken to La Morgue, which was the Paris morgue. And at the time, this was considered to be the only free theater in Paris.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Like people enjoyed going to the morgue, like going to the movies.
Yep. Going to the morgue. And
oh no, that is not okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's better to be more accepting of death than
okay. I do agree with that.
Yeah, you know, don't be afraid of it. Don't be taboo about it. It's something that happens, and we're all gonna do it someday.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. So the River Girl was taken to the Paris morgue, And just a little bit about the morgue. It opened back in 1864, and it was located in the epicenter of town. And this was a convenient spot not only to receive bodies, but also for their viewers. So oftentimes, bodies were sent to the morgue had no identification. So the morticians would place the bodies on display in a storefront type of window to be identified by the public. So people of all ages and classes would frequent the death windows, and this became sort of a social gathering place where people would just kind of gawk and gossip over the bodies.
So did they know who these bodies in the window were?
No. See, that was
They were unidentified.
Right. So they put them in the windows so that maybe somebody could identify them.
Okay.
It's there that the public probably created the story that's kind of rumored to be the situation that led the river girl to her demise. And they kind of came up with this story, and there's really no proof behind it, that she was a virgin suicide. Like, she was in love and her lover married somebody else, and she...
It sounds like they're just creating a
narrative
movie.
for
Yeah,
her. Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what it was, because she was never identified. So it was
River Girl.
or she was River Girl, but she was just this extreme beauty, and she attracted more than 40,000 people is what they estimated.
She's like a dead celebrity.
She absolutely was a dead celebrity. But even with all those viewers, nobody could positively identify her.
So no one's missing their 16-year-old daughter.
I guess not.
That's really sad.
Yeah. So after a few days, bodies would have to be removed because they would start to decay. However, the lovely corpse of the river girl was just so beautiful that the morgue assistant decided to create a death mask to preserve her beauty. So a death mask is a casting made out of wax or plaster that they place over the face of somebody who is deceased in order to preserve their identity and just preserve their image. And these were typically made for like super fancy people, so royals or nobles. And it really wasn't popular for, common folk to have something like that, because it probably, required money or something.
Well, especially someone that didn't have anyone like requesting it.
Right. So the story goes that she was just so beautiful that they went ahead and did that. I mean, it could have been that the mortician wanted to keep her image around in case somebody came around to identify her later. But regardless, they made this death mask of her.
Okay.
And that death mask was replicated because her beautiful little cherub face was so popular that they began to sell it as a souvenir to morgue visitors.
What? This is so weird. Okay.
It really is. It's so crazy. And soon after finding her death mask hanging somewhere in a Paris home wasn't that uncommon to see. And her mysterious life and death inspired, just like you were saying, poems and stories and even a ballet just about like who she could have been and
wow,
what
this
could
is
have
blowing my mind right now.
All right. And then I have this quote from this museum archivist, Helene Pinet, which I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that.
Helen
Peanut. And the quote is, "The facts were so scarce that every writer could project what they wanted onto her smooth young face." So they could just create whatever story. Like, she was just this,
pretty girl.
Pretty girl. She was described as the erotic ideal of the period, and a whole generation of women modeled their look after her.
Wow.
Yeah, she was that popular. She was a freaking star after death. Just bizarre. And I don't know how you model your look after a
dead
drowned river girl. I guess maybe that's like when the whole powdered faces and, I don't know, blue, gray. How do you make yourself look like a drowned river girl? I don't know.
And she must have been gorgeous to begin with.
Well,
if she looked like that.
I have pictures for you.
Oh.
So just
Okay.
wait. Okay. All right. So that was back in 1880. Let's fast forward to 1956. when Asmund Lardell, a Norwegian toy maker, began experimenting with the use of plastics to replicate the previously manufactured wooden toys. Okay?
Got it.
So he's getting into just new, maybe less splintery kids' toys. And he created a doll. Like, it was going to be like the first Barbie type of doll made out of plastic. And he called this doll Anne. And she just had like these sleepy eyes and natural hair. And it was like sure to be just this big hit. But during this time, one day, Lardell's 2-year-old son, Tor, T-O-R-E, Tor.
That's how I'd say it, yeah.
I've never heard
Tor.
that name. But anyway, he nearly drowned, and his father immediately just pulled him from the water and just forced the air or the water out of his lungs and just blew air into him because he had learned about CPR. And he gave him the kiss of life, as they call it. Around the same time, Austrian physician Peter Schaff, who helped pioneer the CPR method, was looking for somebody to manufacture a mannequin to help teach his life-saving techniques. You see where this is going?
I totally know where you're
All
going
right.
with this now. My years of working in the child care education field are coming to full circle here.
Yeah. Okay. So Aspen, he was like the perfect person to make this happen. So together they created the very first CPR teaching tool. And that tool, this mannequin where you could compress the chest and it had this collapsible, usable
in
chest.
breath, out breath.
Yeah, it would
compressions.
move with your breath, and he created this full-size mannequin to do so. But that mannequin needed a face in order to do the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. So, what was his name again? Wait for it. Wait.
Tor, the boy?
No, that was a 2-year-old.
Oh.
The toy maker, Asmund. Asmund remembered seeing one of the death masks of the river girl at his in-laws' home, and he decided that would be the perfect face for the CPR doll.
What?
Yep. And that is how they created the mannequin, given the name Rescue Anne.
Yeah.
So it was initially Rescue Anne. They later on changed it to Rescue Annie. I don't know why. It just sounds cuter, I guess. Sure. And this first became available in 1960. Wait, you look like you're going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, has the face changed over the years?
It has, because other companies are also manufacturing it now.
But they're all still called Rescue Annies, right?
But they're all still called Rescue Annies.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that they're called that, it kind of goes back and forth. So it depends on what your source is. But people are saying that they're called Rescue Annie because of the Michael Jackson song, Annie, Are You Okay?
Oh, and that's like the
Are you okay?
beat.
Are you okay?
Uh-huh.
But then people are also saying that Michael Jackson created the song Annie, Are You Okay? Based on the doll.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't really either. I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So I think it's like he named the doll initially Anne, and then because of the song, it turned into Annie. So regardless.
Yeah, because that's step one. Are you okay?
Are you okay? You shake, you tap, you shake.
You go call 911 and get back to me.
Yeah. So it became available in the 1960s. The Rescue Anne. It was considered the first ever successful patient simulator. Over time, it has, so 60 years now, it's been giving life-saving mouth-to-mouth Rescue Annie is, okay. I'm getting rid of my notes because the whiskey's hitting me now. So I'm just going to tell you the rest of the story.
Just tell me.
So CPR, being like trained with this doll, the Rescue Annie, has been estimated to save more than 2 million lives.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I think that gives people the confidence. Like,
Absolutely.
I can help somebody that's in need.
Yeah. So that's the cool story of how that medical device came to be. And the kind
I'm
of like...
shocked. I'm so did not... ever think of where that would come from.
Right. So if you have taken a CPR class and you've given mouth to mouth to a rescue,
which, by the way, each and every person should be CPR and first aid certified.
Right.
That's just me on my little high horse there.
But if you've done that, you've done mouth to mouth with
the river
girl. And the kind of like ironic part about it is that if CPR were a thing back then, because she was like so pristine and she hadn't been in the water that long,
could she have been saved?
She could have potentially been saved. Isn't that so crazy?
But look how many lives she's saving now.
Absolutely. And at the same time, if the whole story, which probably isn't true, but the whole virgin suicide thing, she is now the most kissed mouth in all of history.
That is like the most beautiful love story
Isn't
ever.
That crazy?
That's so much better than Romeo and Juliet.
So bizarre. I mean,
I love that.
It's super cool, but it's also super morbid and super creepy that people were so obsessed with this dead teenager.
Yeah.
But
and like had her face mask in their home.
Death mask. We should make death masks.
Of ourselves?
Yeah.
We're not dead.
We can pretend.
Okay.
I mean, why not? We can sell them, merch. Check out our website.
Hashtag RipplePod.
Yeah, so that's the crazy thing that it's been a while since I've done my CPR certification, but rescue breaths aren't like much of a thing anymore. It's mostly
It's
chest
strictly
compressions.
Yeah, compressions now. Yeah. And it's still to the beat of staying alive.
Well, it used to be the staying alive part were the 2 rescue breaths.
No, it's strictly compressions. Now.
Yeah.
I used to carry a rescue mask on my keychain.
I used to have one of those too.
Yep.
But it's been quite a while since I've done the CPR certification.
It's time to recert.
Oh, one of the other things, I don't think I put it in my notes, but since we were talking about men being stupid earlier in your story, the reason that this toy manufacturer dude picked the mask of the lady or the girl of the river is because he thought that men would be more inclined to take the class if the
girl was
pretty or the face was a woman. Because he thought, because
all the homophobes don't want to make out with a man.
So if you're a dude and you are drowning or for whatever reason needs CPR, apparently guys aren't going to want to touch your lips. Back in the 50s or whatever that was, the 60s.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that crazy?
I kind of see it though. I do.
Even
unfortunately.
A freaking mannequin.
Yeah. Because whatever, people are stupid.
Yeah.
People, not men. People are stupid. Pick a topic for next week.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I forgot about that. Let me get the basket.
Another thing that we needed to discuss, because I actually have people that are somewhat listening to this. Kind of pretending to. And I had someone say, like, okay, so explain to me the whole, like, be a fountain, not a drain thing. And what it is. So, how it started originally, like, a few years ago, Angela and I saw a license plate frame
when we were stuck in traffic trying to get somewhere in Ventura
that said, be a fountain, not a drain. And we thought it was really funny. Like, we laughed about it.
Yeah, we really did.
It was, like, silly. But for whatever reason, it always kind of stuck with us. Because it does make sense. Like, hello, like spew out the good, don't, like, suck out the good. And then when we came up with the name The Ripple for our podcast, because, you know, our stories are telling the story after the story, the whole license plate frame, like, kind of came back to us.
Yeah, because we're talking about water. Ripples happen in the water, typically.
So that's the little backstory.
Yeah.
But now we like it a lot. So
because I think we were, like, super annoyed that we were sitting in traffic and we had that license plate in front of us, and it just like
shut up and stop complaining. Don't be a drain.
Be a ripple. Be a
fountain.
Be a fountain, not a drain.
Yeah, it stuck with us. Okay, so go ahead and pick, because I think I picked the last one.
Okay. All right, mixing them up.
And if anyone that is listening has an idea for us to do a future topic, send it to us. DM it to us on Insta or she's excited.
Okay. Now this is actually a topic that was not picked by either of us. This is a topic that was picked by my fiance, Adam, and it's twin, triplets, or multiples.
Oh.
So any story involving
Twins, triplets, or multiples.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that he picked that actually the night that he got this bottle of whiskey from his cousin, who happens to be a twin.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't do that story about the two sisters.
Right, who I know what you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm
They're
talking
running
about.
through traffic,
Yeah.
and then one of them killed a guy.
And they like started teaching
one of
yoga
them got hit
classes.
wait, what?
Oh.
I think we're talking about different twins.
I think we are. Oh, maybe.
You're talking about the yoga twins. I'm talking about the ones who were running through traffic, and one of them got hit by a car, and the other one killed somebody.
Okay, we need to stop talking.
Okay.
No more. Okay, we'll find good ones. Twins, triplets, or multiples. Fun. Okay, I like it. Okay, well, like we were just saying, until next week, don't forget to be a fountain
And not a drain.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.